Ladies and gentlemen, geeks and nerds, welcome to Christmas on SciCraft. Before we get into this video, I'd just like to say a really big thank you to everyone on SciCraft. Thank you so much for inviting me over to the server to take a look around, and a special thank you to Methods who did all the organising and stuff. So thanks so much to everyone. Everyone was super nice. These guys are a credit to the community. So if you don't know who these guys are, then go and check out all the links in the description. Yeah, let's get into this thing.
Hello guys! This is again Drago42 with another SciCraft server tour. Hey guys!
Hey.
Hi.
Hello! Yeah, we got a pretty huge crowd today. Mostly our guest today is Logical Geek Boy, or Logic.
Hello everyone. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, glad to have you here. So in case you don't know him yet, he's been on the YouTubes and the streams for about a year by now. And yeah, he's doing a pretty nice series called Road to HermitCraft, which is, well, maybe a bit ironical or high set target, wishful thinking, whatever you want to call it. But it's definitely a very interesting thing to watch. So yeah, if you're into a combination of building and some technical aspects, definitely check him out. There'll be a link in the video description, of course. Even more people. We got Manipende here, who is a new member.
Hey.
And where is Sky? Somewhere up in the sky? No? Sky Rising is hiding?
I'm invisible for you, I guess.
I'm blind.
Wait.
Oh, great. Yep.
Oh.
He is invisible.
Did you go through a portal?
Invisible for me too.
Awesome. Well, I actually
someone
just
needs to
locked.
fix it.
Okay. Well, Minecraft
Not
and its
even
bugs.
online.
Yeah, we'll fix that in a second. So, yeah, today's tour is all about ice. So probably it's got to be one of our coolest tours to date.
Good.
Yeah, so we got a bunch of nice ice farms to show you, and the first one we'll show you is actually the old one, just as a short reminder for those who haven't seen it, and yeah, why we needed a new one. So I suggest we'll meet you guys over there.
This is absolutely amazing. We're actually on the SciCraft server, and this is my very first piston bolt. And this, wow, this thing goes really fast. Wow. So yeah, we're going to go off and see some ice farms now. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what these guys have got for me.
Alright, we just quickly went over to our old ice farm, and I think now I can actually see Sky Rising back there. Hey there. So yeah, going through Nether Portal fixed it. And yeah, this is our old ice farm. It had a small snow farm included here just to make some snow blocks with the crafting setup. And if we just walk up here, so this was the entrance, but we can better see it from the top. We can try to get out of here and get a bit of an overview. So what was happening here?
So many people.
Are people not stuck in this thing?
By the way, there's a door on the other side.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the exit mechanism is not so ideal.
Well, it wasn't meant for 15 people.
Oh yeah. Alright. Yeah, so as you can see there's multiple rows here, and what happened was that you would take off your shoes so you don't have Depth Strider, and you would basically be pushed around by these water streams. You would every now and then get the option to pick up a new pickaxe, and well, you would just hold left click to mine the ice as you walk through, and the wooden stairs here you couldn't mine in time, so you would only mine the ice. By mining all the ice, the water could reform after the pistons retracted. Yeah, there's just a bunch of pressure plates detecting where the player is. And, well, we got quite a decent amount of ice from that. However, well, things happened, or one could say Mojang happened, and they decided to reduce the range for random ticks. So, as you might know, ice forms based on random ticks, or water freezes based on random ticks. And yeah, that range got reduced to a fairly small radius around the player, much smaller than it was before. And so this type of ice farm was not really feasible anymore. So yeah, basically the farm was too big.
Gnemon has a new design, which is just slightly smaller, but this
Yeah, that
farm
works.
was just a little bit too large, and you didn't get any significant amount anymore.
Yeah, so basically, whenever you are at one side of the farm and mining ice there, you wouldn't allow ice to form on the opposite side of the farm, which is quite annoying because then stuff wouldn't be completely frozen, and yeah, the rates are much lower.
You shouldn't
So
Can I just correct? It's not exactly a random tick. It's the ice random tick. It's a little bit special.
Yeah, but I mean the range is the same, right?
Yep.
So both are reduced.
So is the ice random tick a totally different random tick to the other type of random tick? It is, okay.
It works the same, pretty much.
Yeah,
but it's still
just duplication. Alright, so yeah, we definitely needed to get some ice again, because, well, you know, we needed all the time for all kinds of projects, be it to create a large amount of water for our perimeters, or anything else. So we had to come up with a solution, and I think we'll meet you at the first solution.
You can just fly over there.
We can just fly over there.
Oh, it's actually super. Yeah. See, at some time you just forget where things are. Yep.
Wait,
it's
isn't
actually
there an
just-
even older version that is somewhere around here with like a nice housing on top of it?
Yeah, we had 2 ice forms before. So this is the one that broke by the random tick rage is the 3rd ice form. This is the 4th ice form here.
Yeah, so, okay, what's happening here is more or less simple. So we have a flying machine on the sides. So that one over there, in that direction. And basically what happens once per day, so there's just a daylight sensor attached, it would fly across and try to push all the ice down. So you can see here there's a nice basement underneath. And we try to do that for 11 times until it stops. Well, like 11 day-night cycles, which means it takes about 4 hours to reset. Well, 3.5 to 4 hours. And yeah, then we can mine a whole bunch of ice here. But there's one additional trick. So of course, since everything would reform from the water here on the side, yeah, things would start freezing very slowly. So we would either need some way to get a seed in here, because ice can only form if there's a solid block next to it, or non-water block. And yeah, well, obviously there's nothing around it but ice. And in order to get these seed crystals in, so to say, we actually use frosted ice. And for that purpose, we got these flying machines here on the side. And they would get triggered with an armor stand with Frostwalker boots. It would freeze the ice. It would very quickly melt again, but it just manages, or it's just sufficient to introduce a few proper ice blocks that quickly form around the frosted ice. And then from there, the crystallization can continue to form a full layer of ice. Well, it's not always a full layer, but it's very close to it. So you can actually see here that it's a bit heterogeneous at the bottom. That's where some layers were not completely formed. So we don't get 11 ice blocks per column here each time. And yeah, then we would simply walk down, get our Silk Touch pickaxes out, and a whole bunch of shulker boxes to store all the ice. And yeah, that's of course you can't mine the topmost layer, that would be a problem. But everything from this layer downward you can easily mine. So, I don't know, shall we have a go at it?
Well, let's do a time lapse.
So as we mine away the ice as a team here, yeah, let me tell you that this server tour for me almost didn't happen. When I was first invited, obviously I was really keen to join, but it turns out that I was supposed to be in Germany at that time, so joining wouldn't really work out. But then there was a whole bunch of shenanigans at Gatwick Airport with some drones stopping flights, and yeah, my flight was cancelled. So that was we were pretty sad about that. But the upside is the silver cloud is that I was able to join in the end and join these guys in mining up a whole bunch of this ice, and yeah, doing a good server tour and seeing the crazy stuff these guys get up to. So if you haven't seen them before, make sure you check them out.
Okay.
No.
Alright, all the ice is gone. Well, except for the topmost layer, obviously. And, well, we got quite a decent amount from it. But, yeah, you can probably guess that this is not really SciCraft style as our default ice farm. So, yeah, this was actually just a small project since we urgently needed some ice. And I think enemy slapped this down in like one evening. So this was a fairly quick thing. And that means we got yet another ice farm, which is a little bigger.
Filthy casuals taking the piston ball. I take the express train. Oh my god.
Oreo.
God.
And as we travel through a maze of piston bolts, we're now on our way to the main attraction. By all accounts, this is going to be an amazing and insane ice farm. So yeah, let's check this thing out.
Logical, be sure to take a look behind us as well, and you can see the elevator, the return path that the piston bolt takes and everything, as well as the fact that there's no bedrock above us.
Yeah, I'm just realising that the surroundings. It's crazy.
What the hell?
If you look to the left,
Oh, Oreo.
I take the express train.
You know, there are times when it gets embarrassing.
Yeah, I know. I mean,
this is one of them.
Alright, we've just arrived at our newest and biggest ice farm. Well, technically on the nether side. And you can already see that there's 2 portals here, which are actually quite important. But yeah, you will see why this is relevant in a bit. So yeah, we've arrived here in our excellent nether perimeter, which has like this 1k by 1k hole in the bedrock, thanks to XCOM. Anyways, so yeah, we've arrived here at the bottom. Actually, the piston bolt here has a small elevator. Well, small. But I would say let's go right through and see what's on the other side. Let's first look here to the back. And we made a pretty nice storage room, I think. This time from here we can actually read it.
Wow.
And yeah, we took the storage quite a bit out. And of course this is all filled with shulker boxes. Well, not everything yet, but take a look here.
Is this
Is it completely
Superman's
filled by now?
prison? What is it called?
Holy...
Forest of Solitude? Yes, Fortress of Solitude.
It's so cool. It looks really
Yeah,
cool.
Wow,
not
really
quite.
good.
Yeah, it's...
We have this
think
buffer in the back
Manny worked
for the
on
rest.
this?
No,
Oh yeah, Manny
Francesco.
Francesco, okay.
Really...
It's one of the two.
That looks pretty amazing. So you can already see the hoppers here. The shulker boxes are trickling down to the bottommost chest. And yeah, these are all filled, so it starts from over here. So in total, we got something like 36 million ice stored up here.
Yeah, I think this
Which
is like 25, and then in the back, in the wall of the perimeter, we made like
Yeah.
a bigger buffer for the rest.
This is what
Yeah,
So,
Ring,
yeah,
you follow
that's not
me
enough.
here in the back with the rest. Future storage.
So yeah,
But
we
it-
use the full random range that is available.
Wow, look
to
at the
us,
size
and
of this
again,
thing.
very similar concept to the other farm, in the sense that we also have flying machines pushing ice down. But they're quite a bit more fancy. All the glass here avoids some water from freezing. So yeah, we always use ice fairly quickly. And it looks like a pretty random pattern, but it's actually really nicely made up. And yeah, I should mention this farm was mostly designed by T5, or pretty much in its entirety. So this is definitely a very impressive farm. So you can already see there's a lot of piston action going on, because all the ice that is pushed down by these flying machines is actually transported to a single place, and we should definitely take a look at that. Let's just try to get back up here. Yeah, that one place, we can already hear it, is just down here, where we would be standing. And you can already see there's a lot of pigmen coming in, and that's why there's all these nether portals. So we actually have a half-sized nether portal farm here, which gives us zombie pigmen that get aggroed by something Mango will explain in a second. And then we're just standing here in the corner picking up XP. Well, actually you have to take off most of your armor, I think. Which means you, well, automatically repair your mending pickaxe. And you just look straight, hold down left click, and go for the ice once it's activated. Normally the theoretical maximum would be 72,000 per hour, and if everything would run completely smooth, this farm would produce about 70,000 per hour. However, on the client, due to a lag and how often you actually send your input, it's usually around 55,000, depends a bit on your latency to the server, ping, and all these kind of things. So yeah, it's still a pretty insanely fast farm, and as you can see here, the ice is basically being pushed in from both sides, where it actually comes from the top and bottom. So basically, yeah, we are just merging multiple ice streams to have this constant flow of ice. And then one player is just standing there and mining it all the time, which in this case is enemy. And maybe we can actually have a scoreboard popped up. Someone can quickly show that, so we can see how quickly this is running. So you can see enemy is clearly in the lead here, and it's just skyrocketing like crazy.
Usually it's actually better. But
Yeah,
so
we now
many
have a lot of
people
people on. Yeah.
yeah.
it's
Usually it's better.
Normally we're averaging at like 30 ms, 35 ms with the ice farm running, something like that.
Yeah, at the moment we are down to
So
50,
so like half of it.
Yeah, half it is just players being connected, which slows things down a bit. And of course on the client it's also a bit laggy, but yeah, you don't need to do much while it's running. So yeah, that's a hell lot of stuff coming in, and let's actually check out the flying machines on top.
Yeah, I've got one
There's right by me.
next to me.
Oh yeah, here. There's one part flying, and it's actually a fairly big part. Yeah. So the server just has a difficult time updating the client.
Yep, the server, ice farm is freezing the server packet.
Yeah. So yeah, the frontmost piston here is what pushes things down. And actually on the way back, so we don't kill the water all the time, the whole flying machine is moved up by one block and sent back, so it doesn't push anything down. And yeah, only on one way we actually harvest the ice, because otherwise you could imagine there's two ice blocks being formed with a water block in between. So we would remove the water block by the piston trying to push down, while the ice maybe can't be pushed, and then, well, you would lose that water block, since it couldn't reform.
Wow, so how long did it take to build up this thing from scratch?
Weeks.
Weeks. Wow.
I think it was half a million block that had to be placed.
Yeah, 480,000 something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think a month and a half, maybe.
I think with the ice in, because we have to build some of the ice in, so just preloaded. I think it's like 570,000 blocks.
A lot of the ice was actually put in as water, and then we just had some feeder ice put in, if I remember correctly. But yeah,
You just point out that there is other farms in this size, but usually they don't have observers, pistons, and other contraptions. They're much simpler, much simpler. So that's why this is so much more complicated than anything that's ever built before.
Yeah, also, if you look at the bottom of the farm, you can see the pattern of the concrete is really not nice to be.
yeah.
In general, you should fly through the machine to see all the technical blocks moving. It's like a mess of observers and pistons.
And of course, to keep it running at a reasonable rate, all the signaling has to happen via rails and not via regular redstone. So there's of course a little bit of repeaters, but no redstone dust in the main part. Only, I think, a little bit here in the central part. But yeah, if you run it at such a high rate and such a high frequency, you really have to cut down on redstone dust, because that's lag source number one.
How much obsidian blocks alone were placed for this farm?
70k, I think.
Something in that range.
Sounds right, yeah.
But most of it, of course, at the bottom for the portals.
Yeah.
Could have used
The rest is
droppers
really just
instead in a lot of cases, but I don't know. Obsidian, we had some leftover obsidian. We also plan to make an obsidian farm soon again.
Yeah, we'll need one again,
Yep, definitely need one soon.
since we did go quite crazy on these portal farms. So you can see these are actually double layer farms, and yeah, but we could only build half a circle. So yeah, maybe Mango, you want to explain the portal farm part?
Yeah, we mentioned why we need it. So the player always uses only a single pickaxe, which is refreshed, or the durability is raised again by the XP that we get from the pigment dying in the back. So with the Manic pickaxe you can run this farm basically infinitely. And that's the whole reason why we have this zombie pigment farm here in the back. It's completely automatic, you just have to throw a snowballs at those 3 alarm pigmen here in the back. And then the pigmen would pathfind towards the player. They fall down a little bit, killed by anti-cramming damage with those minecarts here, and then the XP is so close to the player that it's getting just sucked up. So we get about 40,000 XP with this farm, which is more than enough. The player still needs to take off his armor, because otherwise the mending is distributed over several armor pieces, so that's why we take the armor off, but it's more than enough XP. So we even make some levels. I think enemy was AFKing, as you can see on the right, quite a while, 25 million ice mined, and I think he has 1500 levels just from AFKing at the ice farm.
Yeah, I'm at 1,419 and a half at the moment.
Now, we're saving the gold as well, correct, right? About how many gold ingots do we get with this?
Okay, yeah, so there is also some item distribution going on here at the bottom. So we sort out the ice, which goes to this water stream, is then picked up
Maybe we
by
can
this
turn off the
shulker
farm,
box
just
filler. The
just
texture
to make
vial.
it a little less laggy.
Yeah, this would be a good idea. So in order to turn off the farm, it also has a safety off switch. If somebody gets disconnected or something else, then there's a pressure plate. If you step out of that, then it takes a little while, and then farm auto shuts off.
Well, I can see you're even smelting down the swords for extra ingots.
Oh yeah. I can quickly go through it. So it's quite a mess here with hoppers and redstone. So yeah, all the Pikmin items are transported over, item elevators and so on. Here we sort out the nuggets and the ingots. And here we also sort out the swords, actually smelt those. So we brought over 2 furnaces, and yeah, we have as fuel. We always use charcoal. Got a few shulker boxes of charcoal over there, smelt everything, and then put it into shulker boxes each. And then here in front we have a little crafting system. So by running the ice farm, we also got here on the right 13 shulker boxes of gold blocks so far.
I'm just trying to think of something intelligent to say, but I'm just like in awe. I'm just speechless.
Yeah, and all of
I
this
can
was
relate to
designed.
that.
All of this was designed by T5, right?
Yeah.
Besides the Pikmin farm, the original one.
So how many kind of iterations do you go through? Like when you design something like this, you don't just build this first time, right? You must go through lots of different iterations and fine tuning. How long does that process take?
Maybe T5 can answer that.
Yeah.
If my connection gets better, maybe.
Yeah,
I think he just smacked
actually
this
quite
thing
fun.
down at once. He just showed it to Mango one day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty much I had this idea since a while to transport all the ice towards the player, but I never found the time, and then told T5 about it. And 4 weeks later, he says, "I have an ice farm for you." And pretty much, I think he's been kind of working on it for a few hours every day straight, and that's what T5 does. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I couldn't have made it better. It's perfect.
It's like an
He
us
made
for now.
one painful mistake. He forgot that the client is not 100% reliable, and he had to afterwards add all of the obsidian and rebuild the farm. So
I built it at the start with obsidian.
okay.
I wanted to make unbreakable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so nothing can go wrong. So all obsidian makes it 100% safe. This farm works perfectly fine. We actually ran it for 10 days straight already. So this also works perfectly. We actually ran into some issues initially with the Pikmin, which have been sorted out by using special Pikmin with a lower follow range. I mentioned already in the SciCraft video, it's something we found out with this farm, that I need special Pikmin for this, with a follow range lower than 35. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you have to be out of their follow range
Yeah.
for them to alert additional Pikmin in a sufficiently regular manner.
Yeah. So by running into all of those issues, I had a nice side effect, because we learned so much about Pikmin farms, and yeah, we also got new Pikmin farms by now, based on all the issues.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Maybe we should mention the goal. We want to get 1 million blue ice at some point, 1 million packed ice when it's craftable, and just 10 million ice. So in total, we want to mine 100 million blocks. That's the goal.
Alright, so I guess with that, let's wrap it up. Thanks everyone for joining, thanks everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed this very nice server tour. Yeah, thanks to Logical Geek Boy for joining us. As I mentioned in the beginning, be sure to check him out. And yeah, hope you enjoyed. have nice holidays, have a good new year, and see you next time.
Thanks,
Bye
everyone.
bye.
Thanks for
Bye-bye.
inviting me.
Alright,
Thanks a lot.
see you.
Bye-bye.
Merry Christmas!
Bye bye.